Right. Ultra stream time. Time myself. So. And I found. Let's see. Is that audio? Hey, if nobody comes, I get to my mic. Not the world. Hello and welcome. If you are here and you can hear my microphone, if you could tell me whether or not I sound okay. I've been experimenting with filters to try to get rid of muting them. Any feedback would be nice. It's like far. I think I advertised this. Good. Oh, the watching number has gone up to 3. And I just realized this goes 1, 2, 4, 2. Fixed. Hello, Jessica. Welcome. You're the first person. I've been talking to myself for 3. I think we'll probably get some other people. I talked to some people this week who are having a hard time with some of the stuff. And definitely some of the stuff we've been doing is hard. Has it been going okay for you, or has it been hard? You're a pretty good proxy. If it's been hard for you, it means it's probably been hard for a lot of people. Okay, it's been okay. All right, that's good. Eh, Not really hard for you? Okay, fantastic. That's very good to hear. Um, I've gotten definitely some freaked out people being like, "Yo, this is really hard," because, I mean, realistically, this is one of the harder units here. So, it being entirely remote is a little uh, rough. Hey, Sam, welcome. I'm glad you were able to make it. Hopefully I can assuage your questions. Were you able to find the part of that video that had sound? I think I edited it in YouTube, so I cut out all the part that didn't have sound. Because I think I do enough questions in the part that has sound. If you're just showing up, if you could try out the questions here. The question help button is in Pearson helps because it shows an example, and I followed that. Oh, sweet. It was at like 2:15ish. Yeah, true. And you were lost either way? Okay, no problem. We'll go over some things today. If you could try out these questions. The guessing questions are hard when people have computers in front of them. They have to make them very personal. If you're wondering why the bottom question is the way it is. Yeah, we're up to 7 people. That's not too bad. Considering it's like the first week we're doing this since months ago. Yes, you could Google them. Exactly. But I don't think you can Google number 5 unless you know some really specific things about me. I think it is. I think you would be able to look it up if you knew exactly what my character was. That information is online. Probably don't know that. Hello, Don. Welcome. And welcome to all the people in the background. I was hoping you could try out some questions, and we could, from these, kind of gauge where we should focus on for the stream here. With helping people out. Welcome, Alex. Isn't a local comedian sort of a confusing thing because you're on the internet? So, unless you're talking to just people who are local, then you're no longer a local comedian. Maybe too analytical. There. Hey, Vachin, welcome. I was hoping people could try out these questions here and see if they can and I have music stuck in my head. Bad. Harder to focus. Should we say our answers? I don't really mind if you share answers. I think that's fine because there might be some people stuck on some of these. Maybe you know how to do some of these and not some other of these. If you've been keeping up with the work, number 2 should be pretty easy. But if you haven't watched the last video I made, which hopefully has good sound. And yes, Vachin, you are correct. And Alex, you are definitely correct. Found the perfect square in 75. Three is the hardest question here because 4 isn't too bad if you remember how to factor those sort of things, but that factoring is really the hard part. Hint, factor for 4 if you haven't tried that. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Feeling good, people showed up. Good stuff. And I don't know if you've been following the news at all, but it looks highly probable that we're going to be starting next year online also. So definitely those people here who are uh, actively pursuing their learning are going to end up when we go back to school like in really good shape compared to their peers who did not. So good on you just for being here, or watching the videos or doing the homework or whatever you're doing. All of that is fantastic. It's really going to serve you in the long term. Sure. I don't know if I can even overstate that. It's kind of crazy. Think about. Because so I graduated college in 2009, which was like height of the depression or whatever, and people in my generation, because of when I graduated college, make less money by like 20 or 30% than people who were in the like graduated college maybe 3 before me. So these sort of like big life impacts have a like ripple effect on everything else that you do. So if you don't let them ripple affect you, uh, and you stay engaged with your learning, you just it's amazing how big of a difference it makes. Because 30% might not sound like much, but that's the difference between making like 50,000 a year and 35,000 a year, and the quality of life difference between those amounts is actually huge. So that's kind of alarming, the difference that the impact an event like this can have. And yeah, sorry, I'm rambling, but hopefully it's like uh nobody's given me an answer for 3 yet. Are people like Omega stuck or or 4 for that matter? I did put these in order of what I thought difficulty was roughly. But makes sense 1 and 2. You kind of forgot how to do 3. That makes sense. The 3 is definitely the kind that it's one of the things I figured I was going to be focusing on. Like we're just tired. Oh yeah. No worries. Are you guys stuck on 4 or yeah, are you good on 4? You just have been trying on 3 and not getting anywhere. And I'm pretty tired too. I didn't fall asleep till like 5 last night, so it feels bad. You're stuck on 4 as well? All right, all right. I can start taking a peek at these. So let's first get the answers that were shared. Uh, whoops, I'm on white writing. On black writing. There we go. Uh, yeah, between 2 and 5 it is rough. Yeah, I need to get some sleep. I feel. All right. What multiplies to give you 75 is 3 and 25. This is the combo that Alex used to get her answer, probably. You can split this to be 5 and 5 and take out a pair, or you can say this is root 25 times root 3, and root 25 is 5, so this is 5 root 3. Either way, when you take out a pair, it goes on the outside, or when you just say, hey, I know square root of 25 is 5, and it comes out that way. Either way, you get to this 5 root 3 answer. And it looks like Alex figured out 3. Nice. All right, for the second one, all you do is square root both sides. It's the kind. X equals the square root of 36, which is 6, and x equals the negative square root of 36, which is negative 6. And these are the two answers that were shared for that one. So remember, anytime we do square roots of both sides, like this sort of problem, we do end up with 2 different answers, just like absolute value. Uh, And then question 3 here. Here's the play. Square roots are half powers. This is like crazy, crazy, crazy useful stuff for especially as you go forward in math to know that this. Because in calculus, if you know this, you are so much ahead of the kids who don't know this. But yeah, okay, if you raise powers to powers, all you do is multiply this by all the powers in this problem. So x squared to the 1/2 is x to the 1. 16 square rooted is a 4. Y squared, 2 times 1/2 is just y to the 1. And z to the 4th times 1/2 is 4 times 1/2 is 2. So I'd have a z squared. And that's why Alex got the answer that she got. So again, I took all the powers of all the variables, and all I did was have each of the powers. And then with the 16, I just square rooted it, because to pull it out of the square root, I'd just do 4 and 4, or pull out a pair, that sort of thing. Or just know that the square root of 16 is 4. And so there's a few different routes, and I'll do more questions like this in a bit. I'll give you more questions like this, so you can try this out more. But yeah, nothing was stuck inside our square root because all of our powers were even in this question. And then the bottom one here, if you were doing this the deterministic way, factoring is what I mean. What you would do is you would do 3 times -2, which is -6. You'd have to figure out what multiplies to -6 and adds to +5, which is 6 and -1. Those add to a +5 and multiply to a -6. Remember, the -6 came from the a times c thing. That's how we factor terms with a number in front of x squared. Then we just go to the box over here. We put our 3x squared here. We put our -2, just the a and c terms. And then we're going to build the b term with these pieces, 6 and -1. So 6x and -1x. Then you're just going to build the sides. So what goes into 3 and 6? Well, 3 goes in and x. What do I multiply by 3x to get 3x squared? That's x. What do I multiply x by to get -1? Just -1x. What do I multiply 3x by to get 6x? +2. And booyah, we have it factored. But we're not done. So the factoring, that's the hard part of the problem, realistically. So I'm going to rewrite it factored here, and it still equals 0. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to solve each of these little parentheses at the end for where it equals 0. So I'm going to say 3x minus 1 equals 0, and x plus 2 equals 0. The right equation's easier to solve. X equals -2. The left equation's a little harder to solve. I'll add 1 and get 3x equals 1, and divide by 3, get x equals 1/3. And boom, 2 answers. X equals 1/3, x equals -2. Out of curiosity, did anybody get these answers? Or was that one the hardest? Or was that one hard? One of those. No, all right. Yeah, that was a tough question. Does what I did how do I say this? Is what I did for question 4, like, does that make sense? That process? Or did I go too quickly through it? Or lose anybody along the way? Hopefully didn't go too fast, it looks like. The super responding. I can't tell what writing goes where. Oh, for like which question? Okay. I can box this in. That's all question 4. That's all question 3. That's question 2 and question 1. I kind of started running over things here. So, to recap all of the questions, in this one, all I did was start factoring 75, figured out that 25 is a perfect square, so I was able to pull out a 5, and only had a root 3 left inside. For 2, I just square rooted 36, and I got positive 6 and negative 6 are both square roots of 36. For 3, I halved all of the powers and square rooted the number. That's all we do for square roots. And I got 4xyz squared. So I could rewrite the answer for 3 like this. Very clean. And our last one, what I did was I multiplied a by c, 3 by negative 2, got negative 6. Figured out what factors of negative 6 add to a positive 5, and that was 6 and negative 1. I built my box, I factored it, and then I solved for where each of those parentheses equals 0, and the two values were 1/3 and negative 2. I can't really follow what you're saying, Sam. Hopefully the review of that helped a little bit, but we're going to look at more questions like 3 and 4 pretty heavily within this stream. So let's get to the meme question now. At what level did I lose my PoE character? Let's see if people can figure this out. Can you post the homework for Friday early? Yeah, I actually can. I can do it tomorrow. 63, 47. 66. Well, there might be a delay there. Maybe. Huh. 6. What was the question? It's the bottom one, number 5 here. What level did I lose my character at in the video game I'm playing? And based on your guesses, you guys have no faith in me. So, feels bad. So in this game, usually from 0 to 70 is like the what would you call it? The tutorial roughly for the game, like the story part of the game, and then like the real game starts around 70. And I made it to 93 before my character died, and I was doing stupid stuff. I deserved it. Deserved it. So feels bad. So that the 83 was indeed our closest guess. So good work. To get to level 93 here took me about what, if you want to get depressed here with how I spend my life, about 55 hours to get to this point. To get here took about 10 hours. So the time really takes off in the later ones. So. What does PoE even stand for? Path of Exile. It's the video game I play far too much of. In fact, this is how many hours I have in it. That's not very many hours. Yeah. All right. So now let's talk about some questions that are like 3. Good lord, sheesh. Okay, so I want to pull up my thing here. Let's dump this stuff. And in case you missed it, have I ever hacked a game? Hacked? No. I've modded games, which is kind of like hacking. I've changed games to be more like how I want them. Is that hacking? I don't think so. I never did like map hacks or anything in like shooters because that's just lame. I like playing the game the real way. Oh, Jack, you want to learn some Algebra 1? Actually, this isn't totally irrelevant for calculus. This would actually be a helpful lesson at the beginning of the year. Anyways, let's try a question here. So let's do this one. Oh, no, we're chilling. That fits on the screen. Later, Jack. Have a good one. Jack is a senior and he's in calculus, so this is not the correct place. He took his AP test yesterday, so he's good on math for a minute here. Because the calc kids had their AP test. If you're wondering why I have been a little distant the last few weeks and why a stream started this week, it's because the AP test was I was doing a lot of calc work over the last few weeks, so I apologize. Algebra 1 is now my focus, so every Wednesday I'll be here from 2 to 3. So if you have any problems, feel free to holler at me. But yeah, try out this one. This one is harder than the one I put on the warm-up by a decent amount. So I want to give people a chance to try this one, and then I will mob it. And so if you don't understand what's going on, that's fine. I'll be talking about it shortly. Apps. I literally don't know how to do this. I haven't really watched the video. Oh yeah. Well, I'll give you a hint. You can start by just figuring out how to simplify the square root of 32. If you remember how to do that, which was the lesson before, that is step 1. And I realize that this is going to be incredibly hard for people to type into chat. So, I don't know. When you think you have an answer, just write done, and then I'll go over it when like a couple people are done. See if we have people getting on the right track here. Oh yes, you can totally guess. If you can figure out how to write this, you can totally guess. Because how to write this in YouTube chat is a bit of a challenge. Ooh, okay, we got some dones here. Let's see, 4x squared y square root 2xz. Oh, okay, so some people did this. Okay. So Alex, the only thing is when you pull out the x squared, you only get 1x on the outside. So if you look at Jessica's answer, it's like almost exactly the same as yours, just without the x squared. And that is the play here. So let's check this out since we have some people who got this. 16 splits to 16 times 2, and the square root of 16 is 4, so we get 4 root 2. So if you did that part, that is like a decent amount of the question. That's a tricky part there. But then we have to do the parts for x cubed, y squared, and z. And if you haven't seen the video I made for this, one of the ways to think about this is to just say, yo, x cubed is x times x times x, and just circle a pair, and you're allowed to take that out. And this guy's stuck inside. Y squared is y times y. We can take out a pair. And z is just z. There's no pair. So I'm allowed to take out an x, a y, and a 4. So you get 4xy on the outside. What's stuck inside the square root is this 2, this x, no, none of the y's, we got all of them out, and a z. So I actually didn't need this to be so long. So I'm going to shorten my square root here. And booyah, answer. I always take the letters out in pairs, and whatever is left goes in the root. Exactly, yes. All right, let's try another one. Okay, what should I make this? Make this look hard. There we go. Do we get credit for watching live streams? It's an interesting thought. I hadn't actually thought about whether or not I want to do that yet. So basically, the problem with a lot of the online school right now is I'm only allowed to assess you on doing an hour and a half of work a week. So I've been making like 15-minute videos, 10 to 15-minute videos, and then I expect the homework to take about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes if you have to learn it. And so that kind of consumes my whole 45. Huh. I wonder if I should just give credit for live streams and then just not subtract credit. I don't have any problem doing that. The thing is, if you're doing all your homework, it's actually irrelevant whether or not I give you credit for live streams. Because if you're doing all your homework and getting 100%, and yes, you can totally redo your homework if you get below 100%, and I will take your new score if you just tell me. And also, I haven't updated the gradebook in a minute because I've been consumed with calculus, so I'm going to update the gradebook today or tomorrow. And so if you're wondering why there's some lag, that's there. But anyways, so basically, if you're getting 100% on all the online homeworks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to average 100%, or whatever you get on all the homeworks for quarantine semester here, and the project, because we are going to do a project at the end of the year for like stats and stuff. But basically, all that stuff, we're going to, and basically, if you try, you're going to get a really good score on all that stuff. And if and all that, I'm going to average that with your grade that you had before, so your midterm 3 grade or whatever it's called. And so if you had like a C in the class, like a 75%, and you do awesome in quarantine semester, you're going to end up at an 87.5%, which is a B plus or whatever. So, while I can give credit for live stream, I'm just not sure it has a lot of value on your grade, because if you're already getting good grades on everything, then you're already at 100%. That was really rambly. I hope that made sense. But anyways, how are people doing on this question? Any duns? Oh, Jessica's got stuff. And Jessica, you did not pull out quite enough stuff. You missed something in the number. And Danica, you lost some stuff along the way. All right, let me do this. So 3 splits to 103. This was the easiest way to do it because the square root of 100 is 10, so it's 10 root 3. Now, the other way to look at this is to split this to be 10 and 10, and then pull out a pair, and 3 is stuck inside, and so either way, we get a 10 on the outside. Now, x goes to 11 x's, and I don't want to draw all of those out. So what I'm going to say is it's x to the 10th divided by 2, which is x to the 5th. That's what I'm allowed to pull out, because if there were 10 x's, then I would have 5 pairs of x's. So I'm allowed to pull out an x to the 5th. But 1x is left over and stuck inside. So 1x is stuck. Same thing with the y's. Y to the 6 divided by 2 would have been y cubed, but there's one extra y, so I'm allowed to take out a y cubed, but one y is stuck. And basically, a variable is always stuck if the exponent is odd. But if our exponent is even, then z to the 8 divided by 2 is z to the 4th, and I can just pull out a z to the 4th, and there's no z stuck inside. So this was actually all the garbage we needed on the outside. What's left on the inside, and the only problem with your answer, Alex, is just a 3 is stuck inside the square root. 1x is stuck inside the square root, and 1y is stuck inside the square root. And that's it. So we pulled out a ton of stuff. We pulled out everything except 1, 3, because we had nothing to pair this guy with. 1x, because we pulled out all of our pairs. And 1y. No, Daikun, you're fine. Calc streams are only going to be Mondays and Thursdays from here on out. All right, if you were way off, since almost everybody got this one wrong, certainly everybody that linked me their answer got this wrong, we should try another one of these to refine our skills. Hopefully it made sense what I did here. Now, if you don't like this dividing by 2 thing, you can still write 11x's. What is this? That is 11x's. And circle pairs. And look, I get to pull out 5x's, and 1 is stuck inside. And I can do 7y's. Is that 7? Yeah. And circle pairs. And 1 is stuck inside, because these all come out. And so you can do this skill also. It gets you the exact same thing as my dividing by 2. My dividing by 2 is just a lot easier to do quickly. All right, let's try another one. And I'll make it a little less evil this time. Perhaps. 24 x cubed. Ooh, let's change some variables here. Let's do a squared, b to the 7th, and let's do d to the... Yeah, let's just do d. There we go. This a is not very convincing as an a. Its tail is long. Fix it. There we go. Yeah, I know. That's why I replaced the A with the better A. You said easier. I believe this one is easier. In my opinion. Maybe it's not. I don't know. The numbers are smaller, certainly, in this than the other one. I'm actually not a literal genius. Yeah, feels bad. Usually the cutoff for literal genius, like an actual genius, is like a 140, 145 IQ. And that is not my IQ. I have a friend who's a genius. I am not him. There's enough of a gap that when we play any sort of strategy games, I win 40% of the time and he wins 60% of the time. He is genius. And having said that, even though he's a genius, he still had like a 2.9 grade point average in high school and like a 2.4 grade point average in college as a zoology major. So genius doesn't make your life crazy easy. You also need to actually try. Do well. Oh, let's see what Danica got here. Ooh. All right, Danica, when you typed it, I think you forgot the A. Because that's all that separates your answer from a lot of our other answers coming in. So yeah, let's start mobbing this. 24 is like 4 times 6. So I can factor this to 2 and 2 and 2 and 3. And all I can pull out is a pair of 2s. So I get like 2 root 6 for the number part. Because these guys, there's no pair for them, so I just re-multiply them back together. Leave them stuck inside. X cubed is x times x times x, so take a pair. A squared is a times a, take a pair. B to the 7th is, here, I'll just do this thing. Did I draw enough? No, one more line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. I can pull out 3 B's. And lastly, there's only a D, so I can't pull out anything. So what I could pull out was 2x, a, b, b's. And what's left inside is this x, a b, a d, and a 6. And so it's 6 x, b, d. And the order of these variables doesn't matter at all. Oh, don't be sorry, Danica. That's no problem. I bet you had it on your paper even. So yeah, that's all there is to this. So it's a lot of having powers. Hey, Drew. Hopefully the AP test went all okay for you. A lot of people ran out of time uploading, which was pretty lame. Sounded like College Board dropped the ball. Feels bad. All right. So, are people feeling better about this? Do you guys want to try a different... I'm Pearson Easy Bridge, the order of the... Oh, in Pearson Easy Bridge, the order of the numbers matters. Okay, yeah, so let's say this was in Pearson Easy Bridge. The way they orient the numbers is always earlier in the alphabet to later in the alphabet. So if I was to rewrite this answer in Pearson form, it would be this. Cool, fixed. Now we're in like the correct order. Although, to be honest, this question was harder than anything in Pearson Easy Bridge, probably, because I put in like 4 variables and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, these answers are exactly the same. So in reality, don't care a ton which one you give. But for Pearson, they do want you to put them in order, from earlier in the alphabet to later in the alphabet. I liked I'm Pearson Easy Bridge better. I don't like that correction. Can I unlike your comment? Let's see. No, I can only like report you. I'm not gonna do that. That's messed up. All right. So now let's take a peek at a couple other types of questions. So I was hoping to give people this question. I'd like you to solve this for x, and then I'd like you to solve this for x. Did I goof? Yes, I goofed. Fixed. Oh, not fixed. Got the equals 0 part. There we go. So I'd like you to try out these two. Oh, nice. Aced your AP Calc exam? Feels good, man. Daikun was saying it was easier than a lot of the practice, which makes sense in my opinion because they knew a lot of kids were without school for like 2 months. But that's good news for those of you who were working hard. So, hey. Why is your brain hurting? Wait, my brain is hurting? Not why. Okay. So yeah, if you could try these out, solve for x is the directions for both of these. Write that above, I have enough room. Or maybe Daikun just thought it was easy because he was really prepared for the AP test. That's also a possibility. And hopefully you were also prepared. And definitely nobody show up to this channel tomorrow at 4. Because not be math. The AP kids are getting meme stream, reward stream. I'm not going to make them do math while they're still AP testing because most of them are in AP classes. Figuring out how to stream video games on my desktop, which has been a little bit of a learning experience. I've actually had to watch some YouTube videos. Hard. By meme stream, I mean I'm going to be playing video games compared to schools. Oh god, what have I done? An audience of 0 is the best kind of audience when you make a fool of yourself. How are people doing on these? You feel free to spoil any answers if you have them. Are we getting credit for being here? Yeah, so Jessica, I still don't know the correct way to play that. I should give you credit. Just kind of hard for me to take attendance without... Because there are some people in the background who have not commented a ton. And I would like to give them credit, but... Rochelle, you have one of the 2 answers. Jessica got both of them. So it just required a little bit of algebra before you got to it. And just so you know, the video for Friday is doing a lot more questions like question 1. So there are quite a few questions like that in that homework. So it's a little more algebra before you square root both sides. Oh, okay. No worries, Rochelle. I'm stumped by 2 and kind of confused. Yes, exactly. Yes. So Dawn, exactly what you laid out is the first step of 2. Oh gosh, what did I just do? I apologize. Oh gosh, I should not have pressed that button. Many apologies. uh, I forgot I can just write on this screen. So now that people are finishing up with 1, I can spoil the answers. The middle term is -1. Wait, who's Linux boy? But Linux Boy just did a spoilerino. So if you know who it is it Q? uh, uh, it ain't Q. Okay. So Jessica, one of those answers is right. If you check your math, you'll probably figure out really quickly which one. But if you saw what Linux Boy posted there, no, the 2.5 or the negative 2.5 is actually the correct part. So folks, hopefully you were able to factor to this point where you get 2x plus 5 times x minus 3 equals 0. And then all you do is solve each of these parentheses for where they equal 0. And x equals 3 is this side, so that was the only, which Jessica caught right before I spoiled it. Nice. And then in the other one, 2x plus 5 equals 0, subtract 5, negative 5 equals 2x. So divide by 2 and x equals negative 2.5. And booyah, we get negative 2.5. Whoops, negative 2.5? What am I doing? I wrote a comma. X equals negative 2.5, comma 3 is how you would put that into Pearson. Uh-oh, error 404. Hopefully that's that's a meme and not my stream dropped. Oh, my stream's still good. We're chilling. All right. Since I kind of led a lot of things today, based on what you guys were telling me, is there anything else you would like to ask me before we bid adieu? And also, I will actually put in a 5 out of 5 homework for everybody who commented, who I knew who they were. So let's make my list. Alex, that's period 1. Do I remember who's in any of the other periods? I mean 5. Oh gosh. Who's in what period? Dawn and Sam are both in this period. Who else we got? 6th period we had Justine and Vachin. If I do not have you on the list, please let me know if there's anything I can do, or if you want the free credit. Oh, Danica, right. Sorry, I forgot about you, Danica. You actually commented a lot, so I definitely should have remembered. Oh, and then Sam, right? Well, it's good he joined up because he actually was able to help people with one of the problems, so. Sorry, Danica. We do have 12 people. I feel like we have Rochelle in here. We have Linux Boy or whatever. So we still have like one person potentially hiding in the background, not getting credit. So, hello, Rochelle. Rochelle, you have a Polson, right? You have Miss Polson as a teacher. Yeah. I figured that. Okay, yeah, I can tell Miss Polson you showed up to this, and maybe she'll give you some extra stuff or whatever. Because I'm gonna call her after this. We have to make Algebra 1 plans. Uh, so yeah. Yeah, Q is Quinlan Garcia. Alrighty, well, I think we're gonna wrap it up here since I didn't get any more questions. But yeah, I will put in just like a 5 out of 5 like attendance grading assignment, so it'll be worth like as much as a homework. And it will just like buoy your homework grade and your second semester grade if you don't get 5s on all the assignments. So hey, that might be nice. um, you joined her and your class at the same time. Nice. Yeah, she I think she's doing Algebra 2 right now. I don't know. Maybe she's doing Algebra 1. But anyways, have a wonderful rest of your day. Hopefully this helped and you now know how to do more of the homeworks that you struggled with. And if you thought this was helpful and want more free credit, show up again next week and I will try to help you more. And don't show up tomorrow at 4 unless you want to see an embarrassing set of technical difficulties. All right, bye-bye.